Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 9 of the Disney Co. in the Know podcast. And tonight we are talking about Disney and Universal news. And then at the end of our podcast today, we are going to talk about the attractions that we are most looking forward to riding when the parks reopen. I am your host, Bruce Beal, owner of 407 and Beyond Vacation Company and sponsor of Disney Co. in the Know podcast. And today I am joined by Disney Co. in the Know contributor Jacob and contributor Hannah.
Hi.
And contributor and social media manager Elizabeth.
Hello.
So before we get started with Disney and Universal news, I do want to say that Disney Co. in the Know podcast is sponsored by 407 and Beyond Vacation Company, Disney and Universal experts that help you plan your perfect family vacation, take away the stress. So all you have to do is show up, have fun, and create family memories. All right, guys. Well, welcome to the podcast. I'm looking forward to tonight's episode. We're already on episode 9. And we just started this podcast when we went into self-isolation. So we're picking up steam. So I do want to say, because we're talking about Universal stuff, I did wear my Bayside Tigers hat tonight. I don't know if any of you saw the Saved by the Bell spinoff. Now all the kids are adults, and the trailer released. It was yesterday or today. Did any of you guys see that?
No.
Well,
do you know what Saved by the Bell is, Hannah and Jake?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say it was better than I expected. The trailer, and I'm looking forward to it. So that's coming on the Peacock station, NBC's streaming services. So
Nice.
just wanted to start off with that. So let's get going over to Disney and Universal news. So our first news story it is mine, and it's Disney World. People with reservations going through May are experiencing some cancellations. And so really, guests with vacations all the way through April were experiencing cancellations. Disney would either send them an email or give them a phone call and say, we had to cancel your booking, your reservation, and they were providing refunds. And Disney's been really great with us travel agents when it comes to canceling and rebooking clients' vacations. But we have been hearing that clients with or guests with reservations all the way up through the middle of May are starting to get those cancellations, emails or phone calls. And so we're starting to creep into mid-May now. And so even though June 1st was the cutoff or the first date that you could book a new reservation, I think people with reservations in May were holding out hope. And it appears that, Disney is starting to cancel those beginning of May trips, mid-May trips. So none of our clients have had that happen yet, but we have been hearing stories of other guests having their reservations canceled. So do you guys have you guys heard anything on this front, or suspect that these cancellations are going to start creeping into June at all?
I haven't heard anything. I hope they don't start creeping into June. I know Disney's going to need some time to get some things up and running again, like once travel is more, permitted. But hopefully it won't go all the way into June as far as cancellations. Yeah. Hopefully they can get everything up and running by June 1st at the latest.
Yeah.
Yeah, an episode.
Especially with. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
All I was going to say was, especially since June, especially when I worked there, that's a really big international month too. And so you would have a lot of international individuals coming over. So I've been thinking about that, what that would look like. Yeah, it's a very big question mark.
Well, I think even beyond that, for those with who are coming over from abroad to go to Disney, I think the travel restrictions would probably stop them before even their Disney reservation. So
yeah, it's a lot of things.
Unfortunate reality of it all is, even when things do get back up and running, you got to imagine parks are going to be one of the last things. places where people are coming from all over, gathering together, huge crowds.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, non-essential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta think
It's essential to my happiness.
So yeah, I mean, and part, a little bit on that front, Disney and Universal is, it's our business, it's our livelihood. I own a travel agency, and we focus on Disney and Universal trips, and doing everything we can for our clients to have a perfect vacation. But like the health and safety of everybody obviously comes first. And so although it's heartbreaking and we want to be back in the parks, it doesn't make sense right now
Right.
to be able to do that. And what I was going to say is on episode 8, last week's episode, we talked about the potential, or episode 7, I'm forgetting at this point, but we talked about the potential precautionary measures that Disney might be taking, because Bob Iger had suggested that maybe there'd be some temperature stops at the front gates.
Yeah.
So, I think it's really going to be interesting when parks do reopen, and when they do reopen, what that's really going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Agreed.
So, cool.
Maybe they'll start making mask attachments for your ears.
That'd be cute. That'd be really cute.
Right. Let's move on over to our next news story. Elizabeth, tell us about the Run Disney update.
Okay, so Bruce and I are really big Run Disney people. We've run the Dopey Challenge. We have done the marathon. I've done the Princess Weekend. We're really big Run Disney. So obviously with this COVID, races are across the country put on hold right now. And of course, Disney came out with their updates. So the first one being the virtual run series. This run series was actually released today, that you could sign up for it at 10 a.m. this morning, and it's already sold out. The 5Ks that were offered, so the Mad Hatter 5K, the Haunted Mansion 5K, and the Space Mountain 5K, all sold out. However, if you're interested, you can still do the virtual challenge, and that's still available. And what that means is you'll have to complete the 5K, 3 5Ks in the summer by August 31st. And you get all 3 of those medals plus a really cool like 4th medal as well. So that's pretty cool, I thought. But unfortunately, that race, which is very popular, sold out very quickly for the individuals. Okay, so along with that announcement, they also came out with bumping up registrations throughout the year. So the next big race will be the Walt Disney World Marathon starting 2021. That weekend is June 6th through the 10th. And for annual pass holders, Disney Vacation Club, Golden Oak residents, that will be available. You can sign up starting May 7th of 2020. Again, 10 a.m. will open at that time. May 12th will be the general public and on sale. And again, that includes the Dopey, the Goofy Challenge, the Marathon, Half Marathon, 5K, and 10K as well. The next weekend that they opened up would be the Princess Half Marathon. This is February 18th through the 21st of 2021. The pre-sale for this for annual pass holders, Disney Vacation Club and Golden Oaks, will be June 11th. And for the general public, that will be June 16th. And again, that Princess Weekend includes a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, and a Princess Challenge as well. And I just did that one a few years ago, and I highly, highly recommend it. So I would definitely put that on your schedule to register either June 11th or June 16th. And then one that I know is very popular around here will be the Star Wars Half Marathon Weekend, which will be next April 15th and April 18th April 15th through the 18th of 2021. Pre-sale for that, again, for annual pass holder, Golden Oaks, and DVC will be August 6th, and on sale August 11th for the general public. And again, that is another 5K, 10K, half marathon, and a Star Wars challenge. So if any of you are Run Disneys, I know I am. This is for my first marathon there many years ago. I'm excited to put these dates on the calendar and to get signed up because it gets me excited, and at least it gets me knowing something that I love Disney and running and going to the parks. So
are you signed up for any of the virtual races or the virtual challenge?
I am not. I've never done the virtual challenge. This is just a Run Disney race, is expensive going into it. it was $40 for the 5K, so very inexpensive for Disney. You got a bib you could download that was like specific to which one you chose, and you get a very cool medal. So I could see why that one sold out so quickly. The virtual challenge is $145
because it's all free,
and it's all 3. And although very, very cool to be able to complete. That's a little pricey to do.
So, Jake, you're the mathematician. So each race is $45, and then 40. To do the 40, and then to do 3 races, it's $145.
You get the extra medal though, correct?
Yeah,
so it's
medal.
like marathon weekend. Okay. Yeah. One for the challenge. Okay.
I mean, you're essentially paying for the medals, which the medals are so cool. Like, just the Haunted Mansion one, if you're a Haunted Mansion fan, it is it's very cool. You have to check it out at runDisney.com. It's very, very cool. But yeah, it's expensive for that.
Yeah, and that makes sense. That's the same pricing structure as marathon weekend when you run like the Goofy or the Goofy challenge. You're paying for that extra T-shirt and medal. I didn't realize it was set up that way, so that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's a great way, to one, feel the magic of Disney, and then 2, also kind of get into your first Run Disney race, because I always recommend, Bruce and I have been running for many, many years, and I always recommend that if you're going to do a race, your first race be a Disney race, no matter the distance, because they really do add extra magic to that race. So
yeah, and we've run 4 or 5, and each year when you do it, the medals, I hate being one of those runners who just talk about medals, but I'll tell you what, there's something special about Run Disney events, the expo.
We need to do a whole podcast on it.
We ought to, and I think we will. We'll put that on the books. Running through the parks. I mean, the medals at the end, the whole thing is so well done. I enjoy running them. And I look forward to registering on May 7th for 2021.
And someone who has ran other races, marathon distance races, aside from the Run Disney, like Bruce said, it is so well organized. Just like the finish is amazing, the start is amazing. Like, it's just a seamless process, and they really only want you focusing on running, and you feel very catered, and it's amazing. So if you want to do the virtual series, like I said, that is still available, and I would highly recommend it if you're looking at getting into the Run Disney. So
all right, excellent. Thank you, Elizabeth. Jacob, what do you have this week?
All right, so it was recently announced we got some stuff going on Disney Plus for Star Wars Day, which for anyone who doesn't know is May 4th. So that's coming up before long here.
May the 4th be with you.
Good old pun there. The big announcement is there's going to be a new series releasing on Disney Plus. It is called Disney Gallery Star Wars The Mandalorian. It is going to be an 8-episode series that goes behind the scenes of the making of The Mandalorian, which obviously was a huge hit series from last fall. So those of us who were fans of that, which I think is most of us, are very excited to see this. One of the things I thought was interesting is, it's a whole 8-episode series in and of itself. I think going to air on Fridays, aside from that first episode on May 4th. But that makes it as long as The Mandalorian was. The Mandalorian was also an 8-episode series, so we are going to get a lot of behind-the-scenes content.
Nice.
Really exciting. It's one of the coolest things about Star Wars is the creation of the universe is always so cool, and the effects are always so well done. So it'll be a real treat to get to see all that stuff a little more in depth. So really looking forward to that. Really excited.
I agree. I can't believe that they have all so much footage of behind the scenes to match the same length as the series itself. When you watch a movie, usually the behind the scenes is anywhere from 20 to 60 minutes, which is no more than half of the movie. But this is 100%, of the time, as long as the episodes are about 25 minutes.
So we're not sure how long the episodes are going to be yet, I don't think, unless I missed something. But But yeah, it's still a ton of content, so it's awesome.
I'm wondering if they'll do one episode per episode of The Mandalorian. So the first episode is just going to address behind the scenes from that first episode of The Mandalorian, story content, things that they thought about bringing in that they left out, maybe some deleted scenes we might get, different stuff like that. Like, I feel like with a TV show too, beyond a movie, there might kind of be more possibilities for more behind the scenes stuff because they've, I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
it's very possible. I think the exact wording in the official release was that each episode would focus on a different aspect of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So that is pretty ambiguous wording there. So that may be how they decided to style it, or maybe it'll focus on a different aspect of production or something like that.
Yeah. And I think, the storyline, I really enjoyed the series this season, but the first season didn't have like continuity with the storyline. It did feel like separate episodes. And so I wonder if that lends itself to more behind the scenes because we're visiting different places and new characters like each episode, except for, of course, Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda is the constant.
It's going to get his whole own episode, I hope.
Well, yeah. A big part in all the episodes if they can make it happen.
Yeah. And it'll only boost merchandise sales in the parks when they reopen. So that's good. So awesome. Well, thanks, Jacob. Anything else on this?
One other thing that I think was announced at the same time is that the Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the new season will end on that same day, on Star Wars Day. So we're going to have the end of one thing, beginning of another.
That's cool.
So that'll be fun to see that come to a conclusion for that have followed that throughout its whole journey.
Yeah.
So I haven't watched The Mandalorian, but I was just wondering, so is there a second season too, or is so they might drop some footage potentially in this as well, like
some leaks
leading up to the some I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
But that's really cool. Now I'm even more excited for it. I hope to see something like that. I think the most recent news I'd heard was that they had finished filming, or at least most of what they needed to before everything got shut down. So
okay.
And I believe the original plan was released in October.
That sounds
I think. So fingers crossed that that's still kind of the plan in the case.
Yeah.
Or hear me out. Go with me on this one. Will they bump that up? Because like they are doing other sort of IPs in Disney Plus. So.
Hey, isn't there a day, May the 6th or something? You could come out on that day. Just kidding.
What? Well, with that one, Hannah, what do you have this week?
Anyone who knows me knows that I am a huge reader. So my story is about a kind of re-release of a book series. So Ridley Pearson wrote The Kingdom Keepers, started back in 2005. And it's a book series about 5 teenagers who are associated with the park. I have not read this series yet myself. I've read another great series by him, kind of also related to Disney, Peter and the Starcatchers. It's like the pre-story to Peter Pan. And his writing is great, and it was something I really enjoyed as a kid, but something I think that like many adults can enjoy also. Really great storytelling. So the great thing about this revamping is because there have been so many changes with Disney and with the parks since these came out in 2005, he's rewriting them with more current attractions.
Oh, cool.
So kind of to reach, I think, a new generation of Disney lovers who know the parks as they are now. And so
awesome.
I'm super excited for that. So they're going to be re-releasing those. And I know he has some other Kingdom Keepers related things. Kingdom Keepers Inheritance is being delayed so that he can rewrite the originals with the new park attractions. But cool. I'm really excited. And I'm excited too now to kind of get into them for the first time with this new release.
So I did read the first book that they came out with. And I remember when I was reading it, I was like, that's not there anymore. That doesn't have that anymore. But it's kind of cool to have that in the book to be able to like look back on, I guess, you know? But I'm super pumped to see like the new stuff even. Like I wonder if he'll bring in like Galaxy's Edge and, you know, all of those.
I'm guessing
Toy Story Land and all of that. Yeah.
And
they're good.
they are also working on, they were at one point working on a Kingdom Keepers series for Disney Plus. I believe that has kind of been waylaid for now, but hopefully if these new release of the books kind of get it amped, they'll bring it back for Disney Plus, because I think that that could, bring kind of a whole other side to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Oh my gosh, I would love that.
Yeah, the premise of the books, I did read these, and the premise of the books, I thought about, how cool would it be if this came to a TV show or a movie of sorts. But the premise that these kids are in the parks, I'll speak for myself. I have at least thought about what it would be like to be in the parks by myself. Or where would I go if I was in the Magic Kingdom and had to spend the night? Where would I go spend the night? Or, where would I eat if I was all by myself? Or what attractions would I do? Would I just walk around? And if I had to get in my daily run, where would I, I have thought about those scenarios, just thinking about the parks in different ways than the normal, operating hours. And so this book, and if they made it into a TV show, I just think would be a lot of fun.
And for people who haven't read it, I was kind of looking some things up about it and getting myself super hyped for this re-release. They battle Disney villains in the parks, right? To kind of keep the parks safe and to keep Disney as a universe and like the whole world safe from the Disney villains. So you can kind of see in the backgrounds of the book covers the different villains. So
yeah, it's a very cool concept. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm hoping it'll kind of reach a new, like I said, I'm a big reader. So I hope it'll get some people into some books. So
yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Hannah.
Cool.
That's good news. All right. Well, for the second half of today's podcast, we are going to discuss Universal attractions. Last week, we talked about our top 2 Disney attractions that we could not wait to ride again when the park reopened. And so this week, we are going to discuss Universal attractions. And so we'll start off with Elizabeth. Elizabeth, which 2 attractions are you most looking forward to riding when we get back into the parks?
Okay, so my first one is going to be Jimmy Fallon. Oh, there we go.
Race through New York.
Race Through New York, starring Jimmy Fallon. Okay, I know a lot of people have opinions about this ride. We went to Universal for the first time in a very long time last year, and I guess I had really low expectations on this ride, but then we rode it and I absolutely loved it. I loved how you queue, the way that you come in and they give you a color and then you wait basically on the stage, on the waiting stage, for your color to light up. I think that's genius concept. You do not feel like you're waiting. So I absolutely love that. And then I loved just you're sitting in the audience of Jimmy Fallon. I find Jimmy Fallon to be hilarious. He's one of my favorites. And so I just think that they did a really good job with it. And I was very pleasantly surprised with the ride, and I can't wait to ride it again. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll take it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was a little nervous about this attraction, and although it is not the best simulator attraction in a theme park, it's not the best simulator at Universal. Well, maybe at Universal, that's arguable, but it is a really just fun attraction. And what they did with the queue, to Elizabeth's point, is a lot of fun. It's like you are on set and behind the scenes, and you're walking into the offices, and
the gift shop's really fun at the end. It's all Jimmy Fallon. And I also think with that, right now he is doing his home broadcasting for the Late Show, and he is such a joyous person and happy, and I think after all of this I just want happy and joy. So that's why I'm looking forward to that ride. Nothing too serious.
That makes sense.
So,
and you're not saying that, to your point, you're not saying that's the best ride in the park.
You're
saying that's what you're most looking forward to getting back on. So
yeah,
all right,
exactly.
very good. What about your second attraction?
So my second one, of course, is going to be Hagrid's motorbike ride. This ride, oh my gosh, a whole podcast should just be just devoted to our experience trying to get on this ride, because it was quite an experience getting on it. But once we got on it, it was I'm going to say this, one of the best rides that I've ever rode in my life. And it has every element that you wish a roller coaster has, and they just really did a phenomenal job with it. And I can't wait to ride it again. It was so good. So
it is. And Jake and Hannah, I know that you are waiting for when the parks open to experience this attraction, but this is not the average roller coaster. It is based as a roller coaster, whereas rides like Gringotts and Forbidden Journey are designed differently. This is a roller coaster, but this is the most immersive roller coaster that I've ever been on. And the theming is great. The queue is a lot of fun. It doesn't keep up with Forbidden Journey or Gringotts queue, but it is still a good queue.
Where is it in the
go ahead.
park?
Oh no, go ahead, Hannah.
No, it's over by Forbidden Journey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now Jacob and I went to Universal with our parents 6 or 7 years ago now. I think it'll be 7 years in December.
Do you know where the Three Broomsticks is at?
Yeah. Did they replace?
It's right across from there.
Did they replace a ride with this one?
Yes. So one roller coaster is Dueling Dragons.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
It's kind of it's like where Hagrid's hut was, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yep.
So
yeah.
So it is a well done attraction with a little bit of a surprise.
Multiple surprises
halfway through that they'll make you come out of your seat a little bit. So
yeah.
I'll leave it there. But great attraction. So Elizabeth, A+ on the rides that you're looking forward to the most.
Thank you.
All right. Excellent.
We're being graded on these.
Oh yeah. you didn't know that?
Jake's like, oh no.
All right, Hannah, what about you? What are you looking forward to?
Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. So like I said, it's been 6 years since we've been. So a lot of the Harry Potter rides they just kind of had put in the Forbidden Journey, and there's a lot of ones that they hadn't had in yet. But riding this ride, I felt like was a life-changing experience. I am such a huge Harry Potter fan. The queue is just incredible. I mean, you are walking through the castle, you're stepping into the classrooms, they've got the holograms that interact with you, and then the ride itself is such a great mix of, the virtual and the up and down with some of the roller coaster elements, and it's just so well done, and you're totally immersed in it, and I am so excited to just step back into the magic of that ride and get myself back to Hogwarts. So
nice. It's definitely, if you're a Harry Potter fan, like they totally knock it out of the park. Like that is Harry Potter right there. So it's like you've stepped onto the set of Harry Potter.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So.
And all of the workers, are in the costume as students because they're in Hogwarts, and it's just.
I remember coming off that ride the first time I ever rode it, and I think I'm pretty sure I had a tear in my eye because I had never rode anything like that in my entire life, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. So it definitely nostalgia. It takes you back to an amazing ride. So good job, Hannah.
As a Harry Potter fan, this is the closest to being in the movie I think that you can get. We've done the Warner Brothers studio tour in London, and that's probably one of my most favorite places in the world. But those are movie sets. Like being in the action and being in the movie, I think this is stronger than Gringotts, stronger than Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure for being like immersed into the movie action itself. Elizabeth, what do you think?
I think that's also another podcast on its own because
well, just a little bit of a spoiler. Which attraction do you think tops it?
Gringotts.
Okay.
That queue.
Well, that queue,
that's
a great queue,
phenomenal. Like that is the most immersive. Oh, I'm sorry. That is the most immersive, for sure.
Fair enough. I
Right.
don't totally disagree. The queue for Gringotts is terrific. So,
Yeah.
Hannah, what about your second?
My
ride?
second one is the Hulk coaster. So I feel like a lot of people might kind of be like, it's just a roller coaster, but it's fun. And there's like a little cartoon that plays along as you kind of go through. And when we went, there was no line. We waited 5 minutes for front row, and they blast you out of this gate and water cannons shoot, and you're like flying, you know, up this hill, and it's just such a fun ride. And, you know, maybe I just kind of have it associated with those memories. And like I said, it wasn't super busy when we went, but it just was so much fun, and it's a classic roller coaster, and I love those thrill rides, and I'm a big superhero fan. I love the Hulk. So it's just like a fun, easygoing ride. And yeah.
Yeah, I rode this ride. Bruce did not. He's not a huge coaster fan in that sense. And when I rode it, I was literally blown away because of just how quickly and I knew, like we said in a few podcasts ago, Bruce and I are just starting the Marvels, and I know what the Hulk is. I know you know, everything surrounding that, like the concept of it. And thinking back on it now, I think they did such an amazing job with representing the Hulk in a coaster, you know? And so I'm really pumped to see what, like rewrite it now that I've like watched the movies, watched the Avengers, like watched all those, like to see, you know, and appreciate it even more. So I was not as lucky. I had to ride the single rider line. And yeah, I just remember I sat at the very back. I was in the last row.
Oh,
that was terrifying. Yeah. So.
Some people might be pumped. The last row is usually a little rocky.
I know, that's people like that, and I was not. I was literally blown away. So.
All right. For time's sake, though, let's keep going. And Hannah, you did have an honorable mention this week.
We've talked about it. I seem to have a lot of these. I'm just really excited to go back. Jake and I have not ridden Escape from Gringotts. You guys have talked before and tonight about how incredible the queue is, how great the ride is. And so when we go again, I am most looking forward to getting on this. Like, I'm excited to ride things again, but I am most looking forward to trying this out for the first time. They announced its release. I believe we read about it on the car ride back from Universal. So I have been dying for 7 years to get on this ride as soon as I heard about it. So I'm super pumped.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, it is great. For time's sake, we won't get into Escape from Gringotts tonight, but the queue, the attraction,
the queue,
it is good. It's a 3D experience on a coaster, but totally immersive. It definitely wins an award for immersiveness, and it's in Diagon Alley, and that is arguably one of the best places in a theme park that exists. So it's up there with Galaxy's Edge and Pandora.
Oh, for sure.
It's there. It probably even beats it, but that's for another show. So, Jake, let's move to your two attractions. What do you have?
Yeah. So first off, I have the Jurassic Park River Adventure. Again, this one I kind of chose not because it's the best ride in the world, but just for that immersive experience. I'm a huge fan of Jurassic Park with the book and the movies and stuff. And I will never forget the feeling I had like walking through those gates the first time in the park. Like it was like chills. Like I was actually going to Jurassic Park. And that was just so cool. So like you've heard, it's been a long time since I've been there. When I last went, the new Jurassic World movies, I don't even think they'd been announced yet. So I'm excited to see. I don't know if they've made any changes or anything since those movies have come out. I'm excited to see if they've done anything different. But it's just one of those experiences that was just absolutely incredible, and I can't wait to have it again. So that's kind of why I went with that.
And I loved how you said, Jake, how like you walk through the gates and it was so immersive. That's what Universal does so well, because all of their rides are movie based and you want to feel like you've entered the movies, and they do that so well. Like I felt the same way walking through there. I'm terrible. I've not seen a lot of the old Jurassic Park. I've seen the new ones.
So Elizabeth, we are low on time. So Jake, very quickly, what's your second attraction?
Yeah, so I hope I don't get points taken off my grade for
Oh,
I also chose Beer Butter and the Forbidden Journey. Hannah went over most of the stuff about it. Again, that immersive experience, something really unforgettable, and that's why I can't wait to do it again. Like you don't get experiences like that very often. So
I agree. And what a perfect spot to wrap up tonight. So follow us on Facebook at 407 and Beyond Vacation Company. Join our Facebook group, Disney Co. in the Know. Visit our blog at 407andbeyond.com. Join in on the conversations and let us know what your 2 favorite attractions are that you are most looking forward to riding when you get back into Universal Orlando and Islands of Adventure. So until next week, guys, until episode 10, have a good week, stay healthy, and we'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.